What's shaking YouTube? It's the Angel of Authenticity here, live from atop the motorcycle shop. Here to talk about frequent shows and being a masterpiece. When our Creator made us, whoever you may be, whatever you believe, had many before us, but none were as good as us. We were good. We were His masterpiece. We were His work of art. We are His children. His life's work, no doubt. And after observing, that's why I think observing the times is like illegal in the Bible. They said it's astrology. I don't really know why that is, because I'd be curious to know, though. That's anybody that's paying attention that's watching what's going on, really, isn't it? I don't know why that has to make it astrology. Maybe it has part to do with that, But I mean, the old wise guy in the corner that's like whittling wood, wouldn't that be an observer of times, as well? So it's kind of a gray area for me. But I really feel like Earth was put here and we were put here so they could understand the five senses and we could understand why we do what we do. We don't even understand it. Love doesn't make no sense. Our five senses really make us vulnerable. And I believe that aliens are our ancestors, that we're just a primitive form of us. If that makes any sense. We're an advanced version of us, too, in some ways. It's just a theory of mine. I believe the New Testament was like a whole different shebang than the Old Testament, I think that they tried once and then they tried again. Or something along the lines. I'm not saying this like that. I'm not trying to spread false prophecy. I'm just saying there's some inklings in my spirit that kind of point you towards that. So, but some of us are Pablo Picassos. I've been talking about this a lot. And others are Norman Rockwells, and others are engineers maybe that design fancy blueprints for big apartment buildings and things. College made for money, status, prestige, backed by sponsors and patrons. And others of us made art, in our art, God's art, if you will, that He must have made in the trenches, out of the blood and the dirt and the muck and the narco noodles and all the doodads and, that's down in that trench. Yeah, that's a hard place to be. It's a hard place to survive in any capacity, but then to be surviving and transmuting that energy and turning it into art is just brilliant. I love that. I do. I love that because that's what I do. That's what I do. The shittier things get, the more at peace and the more at ease and the more creative and the more I flow because I know that it's not in my hands and I've given my life over to God, so I know He's got it. And so I don't worry an iota. I don't. I just do what I want, until God tells me to do something different. Of course, that involves being a good person and stuff, though. I don't walk around just being a shit face like, "Oh, darling, you've got to move out of my way. I'm late. Oh, darling, if you were as important as I was." Like all these assholes with suit and ties on and shit. Try to zoom past you on their little razor scooters there. Their ties flying backwards and shit. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's what you get when you go to college? You're that guy that's like an elite lawyer fucking cruising downtown on a razor scooter with the tie flying back and shit? Whoa, 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 whoa. All you gotta do is brake check them with your feet, man, and then it's a good experience. Now that is my idea of a date or a good time. I'm just saying, try it sometime. It's hilarious. All you gotta do is like, "Oh, what's in that store?" And they'll be like, fucking wrecking out. And things are dangerous, man. You shouldn't have no motorized anything on the sidewalk. Am I wrong? I can't ride my motorcycle on the sidewalk legally. These assholes in razor scooters run your ass over, man. I'm just saying, the rural people, you guys don't know about this, but I'm telling you, take my word from it. I didn't know either until I went there and I seen it, and it's a good time. If you're having a bad time in the city, go find all the razor scooter district there where everybody's on razor scooters and just brake check them with your feet. And be like, "Oh, what was that?" And watch the good times a little. Anyway, I'm way off topic now. Anyway, yeah, so some of us are forged in the mud and the dirt and the grime and everything. Because, like, people are like, hey, well, if God was real, well, then how come he let me go there to get in all that trouble in the first place? Like, get out of here, people. We have free will. And there's a lot of interference going on in the galactic realm and all that other doodah going. I believe we're like a totally controlled study. They need us to stay a controlled study. We're not supposed to be dealing with medians. And it's an abomination because it's fucking up the study. I believe this. I believe that we're not supposed to mix with other races. And I always called myself a separatist. I'm not really a separatist, but like I believe that that's biblical. You shouldn't mix with other kinds or whatever. I don't know that I know that that's true. However, if we were a controlled study, that would make a lot of sense. It's not about hate or whatever. It's about keeping a pure specimen, and evolving it then perhaps is what's going on now. You talk about starseeds and this and the do's and the das and the blues and the and all the spiritual warfare and all that's true. Every bit of it's true. But like our frequencies are what we got to start learning how to protect. I don't know if we got to start walking around in foil suits. I mean, I don't know if we need like some ray beam guns or something because it's a real thing. When you get drained or you don't, you know it. You know something's not quite right because it's like ever since the COVID, it's been before that for me, but like the COVID was a real emphasis on it. And just you shit-faced drain, like someone stuck a straw right up your ass and sucked all the life out of you, You know that feeling. And that's your energy being tugged on. Tell me it's not. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, we're not stupid people. I mean, we might have been born at night, but it wasn't yesterday, man. You know what I mean? So, like, what do we do about it? I know you could call back your energy. I don't really know what you could do about it. I don't even know I'm speaking on it because, yes, I know what it's like. Yes, I experience it too. So maybe that'll help you relate. And maybe that'll make somebody out there feel like they're not alone and they're not, I mean, even if we are, we still know when our energy is being drained. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Hey, was it crazy? Well, yeah, perhaps. But I know, like, I drink like 40 Red Bulls a day just to function. Like, you have no idea. I'm serious, too. I do. I drink Red Bull from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. I know that's not healthy. I know I could do better. But, like, that's what I do, and my body functions well on it, and so I do it, I'm not saying it's not advisable. It's extremely expensive. I think, actually, it would be in my best interest financially to just start smoking crack. It's the same thing. No, really, hear me out. Because you either just picked it up and I just got some Red Bull, I got some right in the fridge, or I got to go get more. It's one or the other. There's no in between, and like it costs $1 bazillion, and you just never can have enough. It's like as soon as you go get it, it feels like you got to get more. So I'm just saying, I'm not advising that either. That would be stupid. I'm not advising that. I don't do that. Never have. Never will. I'm just saying it's not my thing. But Red Bull gives me wings, and it's a good thing they give you the wings, because if I was having to go to angel school and put myself through all that and like pay my own publishing and for my motorcycle and everything else and my guitar habit, never mind Timu, like that's a whole different story. Like I don't know how I would do it. I just don't. The wings have to be free. I wouldn't be able to afford the wings. When I became the angel of authenticity, I'd be wingless if it hadn't been for my Red Bull, probably. And God. Thank you, God. And my loving ancestors. I do appreciate you. And I do see you sometimes. No, I don't really see you, but I do feel you all the time. Every now and then you think you see it. You're like, oh, well, that was just my hair. I'm not one of them window peeker paranoid weirdos. I figured, if they wanted to kill me, they'd ambush me by now, you know what I mean? Like, I'm good. You're not going to hear them coming when they want to hurt you. That's a fact. So, like, yeah. I don't know. I do feel like we're a blind study of some sort. Like, so what if we are? I mean, let's come to, like, real terms with it. Because, like, I know that the person that created us, we had the Watchers. They're not us. Some of them could be. Because maybe they're the fallen angels that bred with us, and that's us A negative. I'm an A negative. Maybe that Maybe there's something to that. They didn't know aliens, maybe demons, maybe angels, maybe, extraterrestrials. Like, they don't really know, but they know it's something that's not from here. So I believe it could be the Watchers, which has a similar story as the fallen angels, which I don't believe are fallen at all. I believe that they're being punished and restrained for sure, because God's like, whoa, shit, no, we can't have that, nope. And they're down there ministering in hell right now. Because, like, as soon as you go to hell, you've been fucked. You're like, what the fuck is this? You said there was showers, and it's like hot blood coming out of the thing. Oh, yeah, there's a hot shower, all right. I'm just saying, they know they get screwed, and they have to sit 1,000 years or whatever it is down in hell, being in hell. And I think that the angels are down there. They're still angels. I don't care what anybody says. I don't believe them to be fallen. I just don't see it quite like that. I do believe that they definitely fucked up, maybe. They were not prepared for something, and God had to put the brakes on that, definitely. But, like, you still have a third of his army that he sent down to help Earth, down in hell working on them people, the people that are souls, and maybe freeing them in a way. Because as soon as hell gets unleashed, hell gets unleashed on Earth for, like, a period of 2 years or whatever they say it is, it's going to look like Braveheart, I think. With the English and the Scottish and Ireland, where the English thought Ireland they were just their throwaways and they were going to send them in there, but English already had this deal with Ireland, and they didn't know if it was going to work or not. One guy made the deal out of the whole group, and they all go running together and then they start shaking hands and hugging and moving in the English. They were throwing them away anyway, and they fucked them up and they made the English retreat. That was part of how Scotland got their freedom, man. And it's like, don't ever underestimate who's on whose side. You could sit up in a tree for a long time and you won't be able to tell the bad guy from the good guy given enough time watching. That's a fact. I've done it many times where you can't tell who the good guy or the bad guy is by watching. Now, what does that tell you? Either our good guys are getting better and being good, the bad guys are getting better at being good, and the good guys are getting better at being bad. I mean, I don't really know what it means, but I'm just saying. It's concerning to me. How are you going to go to find help if you need help as a person, within your peer group or your community, if you can't tell who the good guy is and who the bad guy is? It's really more important than ever to call back your energy. Physically call it out. We call back our energy as a collective. Do-da, do-da, do-da. I didn't consent to it. I don't want to consent to it. I want it back. It's mine. Give it back. Not Father, Son, the Holy Spirit, the holy name of Jesus, and whatever else you want to add to it, whatever else you want to say along them lines. I think that's all you need to do. Personally, that's all I do. So, I don't know. Sometimes I got so much energy, maybe it's better distributed. I'm not saying it's okay to steal anybody's energy. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying, maybe that's when I feel like I'm getting a grip on my anxiety and my ADHD. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just my shit's getting split. Could be. Which means yours is too sometimes. Perhaps, maybe, if you're like me and you got special energy. I do got magical energy. Aren't I adorable? Actually, I do. I'm really good at pushing buttons. I'm really good at, like, stepping on the line. I could, like, walk the line a whole bunch. I could do it on my hands. I could do it on one foot, backwards, sideways, upside down, on my head. Yeah. Middle of the night, daytime, it don't really matter. But that doesn't pay real good. I'm just saying. So, I don't know. I just wanted to have a talk. I wanted to also mention about how we talk to ourselves, people. Our words matter so much. Our thoughts matter just as much. It happens in your mind first. You visualize it, and then you do it. Everybody talks about this. Get raised up, feel the frequency, go window shop and do whatever you got to do to feel what it would feel like to own that car, to have that job, to do that thing, to be a rock and roll star. Do whatever you got to do to make yourself feel like that. Go to the shows, go backstage, whatever you got to do, man, to feel it for a minute so you know what it feels like. Harness that. Freaking go crazy on it. Keep it. I like to keep things. I give a lot of things away, though. So, like, that's what you're supposed to give and take freely. in the world. I mean, it's not meant to be like, oh, please math. It's supposed to be very thoughtless and like selfless and thoughtful. I mean, and selfless. That's what I was going for. But you know what I mean. We're supposed to give freely, and I believe in that. I think that a little batch of money hidden away in your house will just like breed the devil. It's like a portal to the devil. I'm not saying money's the devil. I'm saying everybody's like, hey, you got that money sitting there, huh? And then all these manipulation tactics start coming because they want to borrow it, they want to have it, they want to use it. They know you got some. They ain't got none, but you got some. You know what I mean? And all these, it changes people all around. Oh, man, it goes crazy. People are like, blah, blah. I'm one of them friends that'll borrow $20 off of you and tell you I'll pay you back Tuesday. And when shit goes wrong and I can't pay you back Tuesday, I'm going to be sitting there with you like, man, I got to pay this $20 back somehow. How am I going to make $20? And I'll still be your friend. I'm not going to avoid you over it. I'm one of them people that you can't just get rid of me with a $20 bill. You could ask a few people about that. I got references on that. I don't go away that easy at all. I ain't got nowhere else to go except for wherever I am. You know what I mean? Like, if I can't be there, then like what the is going on? That's the most important thing we can learn how to do is be present. Not live in trauma, not live in the worry in the future, not like worry about everybody else's freaking shit. Like, fuck all that. Like, visualize what you want over and over again and only speak what you want. And instead of saying dumb shit like, oh, well, I'm not very lucky. I never have been lucky. I always lose. That's what the universe is like, okay, passing out the energy for the day. Okay, they always lose, and it goes on. And it goes on into a vicious cycle. It really is true. Instead of saying that, you don't have to be Delulu either. You don't have to be going around like in daisies, like, doo-doo-doo. Hey, I'm fine, I'm manifesting, I'm rich, I'm famous, I'm a lawyer, I'm a movie star. Darling, I'm a movie star, don't you know? You don't have to be like that either. You could just say something like, just really get some content copywriting practice in. Say like, oh, my luck shows in different ways than an instant game or something like that. That's all. Knowing that your luck does show in different ways. It's not that you're unlucky. Don't let that stupid game make you feel like that. We're masterpieces. We're forged out of the thicket. We are bad to the bone. Our bodies heal themselves. If you don't even react to it, it doesn't even happen. Man, I'm a healing motherfucker. I could heal myself very quickly and prevent myself from being sick very quickly. I feel it like that, and I rest and I heal myself. And that's from God. That's not for me. I mean, I'm not doing it by anything I'm doing. God knows that. I try to eat healthy, and I like my vegetables and everything like that. I'm a vegetable queen, Nobody I'm around likes that. They want just carnage, So it's like, yeah, I know how to be hungry and I know how to eat real good, both, But like, for real, man, our frequencies are being used against us, stolen from us, targeted, manipulated, swapped, whatever else they're doing with it. I can't even begin to imagine. I don't want to learn about it because it makes it more part of my reality that I don't want. I want to block it out. It doesn't exist. It cannot faze me. I pray to God. I put my holy fire on. I walk around with my chin up and my asshole out, my whole ass and chest. And I say what I mean, and I mean what I say when I say it. And I always do it in love. I give comfort to those when I can. And I always try to switch my perspective and put myself in the shoes of somebody that's displeasing me at the moment, knowing that everybody's walking around with a giant mirror in their face. And if you remember that they're walking around, there's a giant mirror in your face. Force them to look in that mirror. I do. They force me to go through the path that they won't get on. Hey, just get on it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Oh, what do you mean we have to get? Oh, no, that's not for us. That's for her. That's her path. Oh, we got to get on it now? Well, I know there's light on it now, and there's gravel, and railroad ties are lining it, and it's way better than, I mean, she had to cut it, but, like, we can't get on that path. Like, hey, why not? Oh, well, because I don't know how many things did we put on that path to try to freaking do her in? A lot of things are on that path that we don't want nothing to do with that path. Like, no, we're good. They're like, no, you got to get on the path. That's the only way in. No, I ain't gonna. A little bitty girl did it, like just now. A little bitty girl went. She even had to cut the path. She didn't even have no light or nothing. Like, you guys got light and a path cut and everything. I mean, what's the big deal? Nah, I'm done here. That's it. I'm just not even gonna heal. I'm gonna go back down to hell. It's great there, really. I gotta kind of in the mood for sauna. And that's what happens. Like that sounds pretty silly when you look at it that way. I think it does. I love making fun of Satan. It's kind of a fun time. We all have them in us, at any given time. Like he's gonna just be like, go sneak it. Nobody will know. Nobody will know. Just like a guy at the bar, like, hey, baby. So, what are you doing tonight? You could come home with me. Nobody will find out. It'll be our secret. Okay. You know what I tell him every time? I've told him this since I was a kid, so I haven't always been like blah, 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 I've always told him, what do you mean nobody will know? What do you mean nobody will know? Like, oh, really? Nobody will know? Oh, wow. Well, how about God? God will know. I'm just saying, like, God will know. So don't tell me no. Now you've already lied to me now. You need to go get fucked because God will know. That's where I'm at with that. So we got to be careful how we talk to ourselves. And switch away around our words just a little bit because you just got to remember everything that we speak into an existence. If we're talking bullshit and making up a false narrative about something, we are literally creating that timeline. We're making that thread. Like, don't do that unless you're speaking the things that you want. And if you're speaking things that you want and they happen to be ill-got-gain type of endeavors, malevolent and nefarious plans against others, and doo-dah, doo-dah, doo-dah. If you want to sell eggs, fine, sell eggs. But if you got to walk up to a half a retard, not making fun of special ed people, it was Ernie on Bert and Ernie is what I'm thinking. So, like, just so you know, I'm not making fun of nobody. But, I mean, Ernie was kind of doo-dah, So, you want to walk up to somebody that's kind of slow and be like, psst, bub, psst, hey, bub, want to buy some eights? And Ernie's like, yeah. Some eights? He's like, shh. Yeah, some eights. You want to buy some eights? He's like, I don't really need no eights, but how about some sixes? The guy's like, oh, well, I ain't got no sixes. But I got some sevens, That was like what we grew up on. That's how they peddled our numbers and shit to us. It was like by the shady guy in the back alley or in the crime hideout trying to peddle eights. Ernie actually takes them at the end. He actually had a whole bunch of sixes and sold them some sixes. Or whatever. I'm like, whoa, man, this is just too much. So when you look back at our education, it was really cool. I mean, I think it was cool, don't get me wrong, but like, it does explain a lot for my generation, which I'm the very tail end of Generation X. The very tail end of it. If you were like literally 9 months older than me, you would not be Generation X anymore. That's how close to the cutoff I was. I knew always I was the last. I would sit there with like all the people my dad's age somewhere, that were all like hippies, carpenters or something. They'd be like, shh, and we'd all be passing around the doobie because it was a pothead, like I'd be like, yeah, I'm the last of the old school. There ain't no more like me no more. Oh, no, man, I mean it. Take it from me. Like, anybody younger than me at all is not. They're not. Maybe one or two, but, like, they're not cut from the same cloth, man. That was me. I was talking all this shit when I was, like, 20, 21. That's who I am. I still am. I'm just saying, I always knew I was the last of an era. And there's a lot of upsides, too. I'm going to do a whole comedy skit about it, so you could stay tuned for that, I guess, and look forward to that. I call it Generation Lifeless. It's like with an X, and lifeless. Like lifeless. Not lifeless, like maybe for some, but it's one way or the other. We were more like juggalos. Ooh, he's a juggalo. We were breaking trends, and we broke out of the heavy metal thing with grunge music. I mean, we had a lot of great music when I was coming up in my early years. My generations of music, like we had all the grunge and the Seattle shit. Like we had Chris Cornell, and like Eddie Vedder and all that shit was going on. It was real cool. We had a lot of good music. Alice in Chains, So like I'm just saying, we did a lot of things right. But we got the clipboards taken away from us in the early 2000s for playing with the ink pens too much. I was allowed to hold them, but nobody else was, so that put a lot of responsibility on my chest and on my plate. I had many, many, many heads to take care of and many responsibilities by the time I was 25. By the time I was 27, I had more responsibilities and duties, including like elected county positions and a job and a whole softball team full of little people that looked up to me and counted on me to not only do all that, but to make the money also. So I know what it's like to be in the trench. And God doesn't keep you out of the trench. So dare you not, Christians, look at a person's life and say, well, look at that, let's look at them. Because God does not keep you out of that fire. Damn it, and he grows his good seed well. And sometimes it's among the weeds that are there. And it's going to look like it. All the bullshit around it. But that doesn't make the wheat any less weedy. They're weedies then. It's for real. It's people like that you're not seeing, and that makes you the false prophet of what God would want. That's what God wants. The person out there on the front lines growing next to that weed, getting the same treatment as the weeds. The weeds are getting the same things as that good seed. And everybody around it would say, well, they're getting, they must think that it's wheat. We got them tricked. That wheat's sitting there like growing and like, oh, yes. I've been wheat for a little while now, and it's not a bad investment, like, come on, dude. They're preparing that table right in front of the enemies because they go to the lake of fire and the good wheat gets sold. So, I mean, I guess both of them kind of suck, but it goes to the barn. They don't say sold, but probably I think it does to be. It gets sorted. One goes to the bundled up lake of fire or for the fire. It doesn't say to go to the lake of fire. It says for the fire. Just to clarify. I'm not trying to put any false words here. And then the wheat goes to the barn specifically. I live in a barn. Am I wheat? Perhaps I am. But it's just something that's going to get a higher price at market than the weeds because the weeds didn't get nothing. They didn't bring nothing except for dither and more resources to water the crops and stuff. No doubt. But for a long time, the weed and the wheat are sitting there together, side by side, looking like they're the same. The wheat don't even know it's wheat. They think it's like half a weed. They don't even know that they're special or more valuable. They have no idea that they're more valuable or what they have to bring to the table because there's been some weeds sitting there taking them from them the whole time. The weeds sit there and take from you the whole time because they were planted there in sabotage. And that's talking about people. They say, I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it ain't, but like, it would make sense and it applies to people. You got bad apples with the good apples, and they say one bad apple ruins the bunch. That's not true when you have wheat and good seed planted. Good seed is good seed, and it's far and few in between. And you can have a whole field of crop, but there's always that couple rows that the farmer will have of good seed that he wants to feed his family with, that he wants to build his legacy off of, that he wants for his own use. Not the stuff that goes off to market like everything else. That's the good seed I like to be, but so you want to keep me, do you? They all want you, and nobody wants to really keep me. I'm a little bit of a handful, I think. I'm not really. I'm actually quite simple, but people got to get a hold of their own ego in order to even be around me. I am a big mirror. I'm not just like a mirror on my face. I'm like a mirror on my whole body. So, like, figure that out. I'm very understanding, though, so I don't know why the complex. Like, there's so many other mean broads out there that could be training them into something, easing them. That's the way it was put to me many years ago. Oh, darling, it'll be fine. We'll ease you into it. Yeah. Eased in, all right. You like it? I'm like, locked in. It was a slow slide. My ass. It was, I don't know. It was one way till it wasn't. That's all I know. You can till you couldn't. It worked till it doesn't. And you know, don't compare yourself against anybody else. Even if that person is who you used to be. Anything that's against you, God will make for you. And remember that. So I got to get off here. Until next time, the Angel of Authenticity reminding you to get real and stay that way.